When David Stirling founded the SAS in 1941, he needed men, not just any men, the toughest, the bravest, the craziest. His first recruit? Paddy Mayne, Irish, 6 feet 4 inches, international rugby player, already had a reputation. David, Paddy, I'm forming a unit. Small teams, raid German airfields, destroy planes. Interested? Paddy, when do we start? They started immediately. 1941 to 1943, North Africa. David Stirling led the SAS, created the strategy. Paddy Mayne executed it. With extreme prejudice, David would drop Paddy in a small team near a German airfield. Paddy would sneak in at night, find the planes, and destroy them, sometimes with explosives, but often just his hands, ripping instrument panels out, tearing wiring, smashing controls. One night, Paddy destroyed 47 planes, alone. The Germans were going insane. Who is doing this? Paddy Mayne, that's who. Over 100 German aircraft destroyed across his SAS career. January 1943, David Stirling got captured. The SAS lost its founder. Who took command? Paddy Mayne. He led the SAS for the rest of the war. Italy, France, Germany. The SAS David created, Paddy perfected. After the war, Paddy went back to Ireland. Died in a car crash 1955. Age 40. This is Paddy Mayne, the man who was David Stirling's right hand, and then became the SAS's Iron Fist. Okay, last video I talked about David Stirling, the guy who founded the SAS, broke into headquarters on crutches, but now we got to talk about David's right hand, because you can have an idea, but you need someone to execute that idea. David's guy was Paddy Mayne, and Paddy was a different breed. Robert Blair. Paddy Mayne was born January 11, 1915, in Newtownards, Northern Ireland. Middle-class family, lawyer father, good education. But Paddy, as a kid, you could already tell he was different. Big, strong, aggressive, and he loved to fight. 1930s, he went to Queen's University, Belfast, studied law, but where he really went was the rugby field. Paddy was a natural at rugby, 6 feet 4 inches, 220 pounds, fast, strong, ruthless. He played lock, the toughest position. He got so good. In 1938, he was selected for the Irish national team, played for the British and Irish Lions, international tour, played in South Africa, became a legend. Rugby circles knew him. Paddy Mayne, unstoppable. But Paddy wasn't just tough. He was smart too. Graduated with a law degree in 1939. Could have been a lawyer. Then the war started. September 1939. Germany invaded Poland. Britain declared war. Ireland was neutral. But Northern Ireland was part of Britain. Paddy made a choice. He enlisted Royal Ulster Rifles. Why? Because rugby wasn't enough anymore. He wanted a bigger fight. Paddy got commissioned as an officer. Lieutenant. Trained his unit. Scotland. Boring garrison duty. Paddy got bored. Fast. He wanted more. Action. Combat. Something. Late 1940. He heard something. New unit. Commandos. Special Forces. Looking for volunteers. Paddy immediately applied. Early 1941. Paddy joined Lay Force Commandos. Sent to North Africa. Egypt. Libya. Commando training. Hard. Brutal. Dangerous. Paddy thrived because Paddy wasn't just strong, he was fearless. In training, other guys would be shaking, Paddy would be laughing. On dangerous exercises, people would hesitate, Paddy would go first. His commanders noticed, who's this Mayne guy? Is he insane? Yes, sir, but he's usefully insane. But here's the thing about Paddy. He didn't get along with authority. One night in Libya, Paddy was drinking with friends, off duty. A senior officer walked in, saw the drinking, got mad. Mayne, this is unacceptable behavior. Report immediately. Paddy stood up and punched the officer. One punch. Officer went down, silence, everyone in shock. Paddy had just punched his superior officer. He was going to get court-martialed, lose his rank, maybe prison, but then someone intervened. David Stirling. David Stirling was formulating his SAS idea at the time. Small teams, airfield raids, sabotage. He needed men, the best, the craziest. He heard about Paddy Mayne, the Irish giant who punched an officer. David thought, perfect. He went to Paddy's court-martial, told the commanders, I want this man for my unit. They said, he's undisciplined. He'll cause problems. David, I want the ones who cause problems. Give him to me. They made a deal. Paddy's choice, court-martial and punishment, or join David Stirling's new unit. Paddy, what's the new unit? David, small teams, we raid German airfields, destroy planes at night secretly. Paddy, when do we start? David smiled. That's the answer I wanted. August 1941, Paddy Mayne officially joined L Detachment Special Air Service, the SAS, David Stirling's newly created unit. 60 men, the toughest guys, the bravest. And Paddy immediately became a leader, because Paddy was big, strong, fearless, and others respected him. David trusted him. Paddy, you'll command a team, take our best men. Paddy, when do we go? David, soon. November 1941, the SAS's first mission. You'll remember it was a disaster, storm, parachutes scattered. 38 men lost. Paddy was on that mission. His team got scattered. Couldn't find the rally point, but Paddy survived. With a few men, they made it to the pickup point. David was there, devastated. First mission was a complete failure. David, it's over. The SAS is getting shut down. Paddy, no, we try again. Different method. David looked at him. What do you mean? Paddy, parachutes don't work. We walk. Drop us off. We walk in. David thought about it. Then, one more chance, that's it. December 1941. Second attempt. This time, no parachutes. Long-range desert group trucks dropped them off. Paddy walked to the airfield with a small team. Night, for hours, reached the airfield. German security was lax. Paddy crawled in with his team. They found the planes, Messerschmitts, Stukas, rows of them. Paddy, plant Lewis bombs, one per plane. They did, timers set, walked away. A few hours later, your explosions. A dozen planes destroyed. Success. But Paddy noticed something. Bombs worked, but they were limited. We can only carry so many. Weight, size. Paddy thought, what if I didn't need bombs? Next mission, Paddy tried something. He climbed into a plane, Messerschmitt, looked at the cockpit, instrument panel, all the controls, wiring, gauges. Paddy reached over and pulled. With his hands, metal bent, wires snapped, gauges broke. Panel came out. Paddy looked at it, then moved to the next plane. Did the same thing. And the next, and the next. His team was watching. What is he doing? Paddy, saving bombs, my hands are free. This sounds crazy, right? Ripping out an aircraft instrument panel? With your hands? But for Paddy, it worked. Because Paddy was 6 feet 4 inches, 220 pounds. Rugby player, his hands were like vices. He could grab those metal panels and pull until they broke, and it worked. A plane without an instrument panel? Can't fly, takes days to repair, just as good as a bomb, but silent. No noise, and Paddy could destroy more planes because he wasn't carrying bombs. Mid-1942, Paddy led a raid, big German airfield, dozens of planes. Paddy's team crept in, they started planting bombs, ripping panels. Then something happened. An alarm. German patrols. Paddy's team. We gotta go. Paddy. No, keep going. Team. But, Paddy, I'll handle it. You keep on the planes. Paddy moved into a shadow. German patrols passed by, searching, flashlights. Paddy stayed silent. The patrol passed. Paddy went back. To the planes. Kept destroying. Hours passed. Paddy's team finished planting bombs. All set, Paddy. Paddy. Good, go. I'll be a few more minutes. Team. Paddy, we don't have time. Paddy, go. That's an order. The team withdrew. Paddy stayed and kept destroying more planes with his hands. Finally, he left, met up with his team. The explosions started, the bombs going off. They walked away. When the sun came up, German mechanics arrived for work. They found 47 planes destroyed, some blown up, some with panels ripped out, some smashed. The Germans' sabotage team, multiple men organized by one man, and determination. Between 1941 to 1943, Paddy Mayne led dozens of raids. David Stirling would plan the strategy, Paddy would execute. Every raid, Paddy would destroy planes, sometimes with bombs, most times with his hands. Just climb inside, rip the panel, move to the next. The Germans were going crazy, airfields blowing up at night, planes found unusable. Who was doing this? Ghost teams. That's what they thought. Multiple teams, coordinated. They didn't know. Most of the time, it was just Paddy and a few men, sometimes just Paddy. Over his SAS career, Paddy Mayne is estimated to have destroyed over 100 German aircraft, 100 plus personally, some with bombs, some with his hands, all destroyed. The Luftwaffe was disappearing in North Africa because of Paddy Mayne, and they never knew. January 1943, David Stirling got captured in Tunisia. The SAS founder, gone, sent to Colditz, spent the rest of the war there. What happened to the SAS? Leadership vacuum. Who should take over? It was an obvious choice. Paddy Mayne. Paddy took command of the SAS, not just a team leader anymore, the whole unit. And Paddy's didn't change. He led the same way. From the front, 1943 to 1945, Italy, France, Germany, the SAS grew from 60 men to 1,000 plus, multiple squadrons, multiple operations. Paddy coordinated all of it. But still, he'd sometimes go on field operations because Paddy couldn't sit at a desk. He needed to be out there, fighting. During the war, Paddy Mayne won 4 Distinguished Service Orders. 4. That's almost unheard of. A DSO is a high honor for extraordinary leadership and bravery. Winning 4, rare. But here's the thing. Paddy should have won the Victoria Cross, Britain's highest honor. Everyone agreed. His commanders recommended it. Multiple times, the citations were written, but Paddy never got it. Why? Because Paddy was difficult. He'd punched a superior officer once. We know this. He'd get drunk and cause problems. He didn't follow rules. He didn't fit the proper British officer mold, so the Victoria Cross never came. Just 4 DSOs, which means the British military said, "You're one of the bravest men we've ever seen. 4 times over, but you're too wild for the top honor." Did Paddy care? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he did. He never said. He just kept fighting. May 1945. Germany surrendered. The war was over. Paddy went home to Ireland, to Newtownards. He was 30 years old, had lived a lifetime. What did he do? Tried to work as a secretary for the Royal Ulster Constabulary. Didn't work. Paddy wasn't built for desk work. Tried practicing law. Remember, he was a lawyer. But he couldn't sit still. Couldn't focus. The war had changed him. Paddy started drinking, heavily. PTSD, they didn't call it that back then. But that's what it was. Nightmares, memories, the men he'd lost. He'd destroyed 100 plus planes. But how many men had he lost? It haunted him. Drinking helped, temporarily. December 14th, 1955. Night. Paddy had been drinking with friends at a club, got late, he drove home, a road near Newtownards. Dark, wet, Paddy lost control. The car hit a pole, Paddy died. At the scene, he was 40 years old. Paddy Mayne's funeral was massive. Thousands of people came, SAS veterans, rugby players, friends, family. They filled Newtownards to say goodbye to a hero. But Paddy never saw himself as a hero, just a guy doing his job. Today there's a memorial to Paddy in Newtownards, a statue. Paddy standing, in military uniform. Below it says, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Blair Mayne, DSO and 3 bars, Légion d'honneur, Croix de guerre. 4 DSOs, French honors, but no Victoria Cross. Still controversial. Still talked about. In 2005, there was a campaign. Give Paddy the VC posthumously. It was denied. British government. Too late. But here's the truth. Paddy Mayne didn't need the VC because everyone who knows the SAS knows who Paddy was. David Stirling's right hand. The SAS's iron fist. The man who destroyed 100+ planes. Most with his bare hands. So what does Paddy Mayne's story tell us? Sometimes the best leader isn't the most polished guy. Paddy broke rules. He'd punched an officer. He drank. He caused problems. But in war, he led. He saved. He destroyed. David Stirling created the idea, the SAS, but Paddy made it real. Because ideas are great, but you need someone to execute ideas, someone who'll do the dirty work, someone who'll go to the front. Paddy was that guy, and here's the ironic thing. Did David Stirling get the Victoria Cross? No. He was in Colditz. Did Paddy Mayne get the Victoria Cross? No, he was too difficult. But the SAS exists today because of these two men. David the brain, Paddy the muscle. Together, they created the world's most famous special forces. When Paddy died in 1955, he was 40. Too young, tragic. But his legacy? Every SAS soldier knows Paddy Mayne. Every Special Forces soldier has heard his story. The guy who destroyed planes with his hands. 47 in one night. That guy. If this story moved you, hit that like button, subscribe. Every week we rescue forgotten heroes from history. Drop a comment. Had you heard of Paddy Mayne before? Thanks for watching. Thanks for remembering Paddy Mayne. David Stirling's right hand. The SAS's iron fist. The guy who destroyed 100+ planes with his hands and never asked for credit. Because to him, he was just doing his job.